10 toxic ingredients in packaged food. Any food that has been canned, dehydrated, or had chemicals added to it is processed food. And these foods make up about 60% of the average American diet. Most of us don't think of the food we eat as poison. But some of the ingredients commonly found in processed foods can be considered toxic. By toxic, I mean chemicals or highly processed ingredients that aren't good for you or can cause harm to your health. I'm talking about refined grains, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup, and all the other artificial junk you can't even pronounce on the ingredient lists. Any food that has been canned, dehydrated, or had chemicals added to it is a processed food. And these foods make up about 60% of the average American diet. They've taken over, and we have to fight back. Know which toxic food ingredients to avoid. 1. Artificial colors. Some of the artificial colors, such as blue 1, have been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier, causing cognitive issues, hyperactivity, hypotension, and acidosis. Artificial colors have been correlated with ADHD in children, and many are classified as neurotoxins. Artificial colors have been linked to thyroid, adrenal, bladder, kidney, and brain cancers. 2. Artificial flavors. These are chemicals made in a lab that are added to highly processed foods to give them flavor. Each flavor can contain up to 100 synthetic chemicals, including solvents, preservatives, MSG, parabens, and much more. 3. Artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, amino sweet, equal, NutraSweet, spoonful, saccharin, and sucralose are harder on our systems than natural sugars. Studies indicate artificial sweeteners don't trigger a stop response in the brain like natural sugars do, leading to overeating and weight gain. In addition, aspartame, a known neurotoxin, has been linked to a wide range of cancers and constitutes 75% of cases of additive-related emergency room visits. These high-intensity sweeteners offer the sweetness of sugar with few to no calories. That seems like a win-win option for parents who want to cut their kids' sugar consumption without stirring up a rebellion. However, many nutrition and health experts raise a serious eyebrow at them and their health claims, especially since children might not always limit themselves to the recommended moderate amounts. However, there is no way to draw a line on a safe amount, and again, they are artificial and not a natural food. This only raises questions about how the body can handle it. Research has looked into links to cancer, migraines, weight gain, craving sweets, increased risk of metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Artificial sweeteners may even alter the good bacteria in your gut. And that's just to name a few of the possible side effects. 4. Enriched and bleached flour may be treated with up to 60 chemicals, including bleach. At the end of processing and chemical manipulation, there is really nothing nutritive left. They add synthetic vitamins in order to call it food. Wheat is one of the most hybridized and genetically modified foods, dosed heavily with Roundup and other toxic herbicidal chemicals. 5. Fluoride. This infamous neurotoxic poison is found in high concentrations in processed foods. Processed foods and drinks absorb fluoride from equipment and water used in the manufacturing process. Many foods are processed with water and are later dehydrated, leaving high doses of concentrated fluoride behind in the food. 6. High fructose corn syrup. According to researchers at Tufts University, Americans consume more calories from HFCS than any other source. It's in nearly all foods that are highly processed. It increases triglycerides, boosts fat-storing hormones, and drives people to overeat, leading to weight gain. 7. Monosodium Glutamate. This excitotoxin is added to processed foods as a flavor enhancer. It's been correlated with neurodegenerative diseases, obesity, depression, and mental disorders. 8. Preservatives. Sodium nitrates and nitrites, TBHQ, BHT, BA, sodium and potassium benzoate, and many others. When benzoates combine with ascorbic acid, vitamin C, benzene can form, which is a known carcinogen. While some preservatives are known endocrine disruptors, linked to breast cancer and reproductive issues, others have been correlated with multiple types of cancers. 9. Recombinant bovine growth hormone. This has been banned in the EU and many other countries worldwide. It contains insulin-like growth factor, which has a strong correlation to tumor and cancer development. Our BGH is mainly linked to breast, prostate, and colorectal cancers. 10. Synthetic trans fats, hydrogenated oils. The consumption of synthetic trans fat is strongly correlated with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, decreased immune response, and systemic inflammation, the forerunner to virtually all systemic disease. Trans fats have no known health benefit, and there is no safe level of exposure to them. Shocking facts about processed foods. The global food additives industry is anticipated to exceed $115 billion by 2024. On average, 80% of the calories consumed by Americans come from ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed foods account for 90% of sugar intake in Americans. 70% of dietary sodium intake in the U.S. comes from ultra-processed foods. Preventable, diet-related chronic diseases represent the single largest cause of morbidity and mortality in the U.S. and most Western countries. These diseases typically afflict 50 to 65% of the adult population and are strongly correlated with an ultra-processed diet. Junk food addiction. Highly processed foods are designed to keep you endlessly hungry for them. These manufactured foods and chemicals are made specifically to stimulate a dopamine response in the brain. Dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter in the brain that is often blamed for addiction problems and drug dependence. The problem is these foods are empty foods, virtually devoid of anything natural or healthy, and are often actually harmful to health and longevity. Food companies engineer their products to have a strong chemical addiction response in people. Unfortunately, this addiction is to foods that are killing them. Many who consume these processed products on a regular basis actually have withdrawal symptoms when they stop eating them for any period of time. Not only is this stuff mentally addicting, but over time it becomes a physical addiction as well. How to manage junk food addiction. Know what your triggers are and avoid them. Plan your meals. At first, try to replace one current favorite with something healthier. Continue until your diet is less reliant on processed foods. Manage your stress levels and try to keep from stress eating. We almost always turn to comfort foods when we're stressed out, and this is an easy trap to fall into. Try to avoid it in the first place. Surround yourself with people who eat more healthily than you do. Those around you influence you whether you realize it or not. By surrounding yourself with aspirations, you can't help but aim for them. Be patient and nice to yourself. Addictions are difficult to break. Keep at it.